Hey, Warriors fans, welcome back to the channel. We've got an exciting video for you today, covering the latest updates on the team. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date with all things Golden State. Your support helps us bring you exclusive Warriors content every week. Stephen Curry's back issue and how it's affecting his performance. A potential blockbuster addition to the Warriors roster? Anthony Edwards be the next big name in the Bay? Let's get started. On Monday, the Golden State Warriors took on the Denver Nuggets at Chase Center, but suffered a 114-105 loss. While dropping a game to the defending champions is tough, what stood out most was Stephen Curry's uncharacteristic performance. Curry struggled from the field, scoring just 20 points on 6 of 21 shooting, including 4 of 14 from three-point range. On top of that, he committed 7 turnovers, an unusually high number for the Warriors leader. After the game, Curry spoke with 95-7. The game, revealing that a lingering back issue has been affecting his play. While head coach Steve Kerr suggested fatigue could be a factor, Curry was more direct. His back pain had been bothering him even before the previous matchup against Sacramento. Curry is the heartbeat of this team, and any injury to him raises concerns, especially with the playoffs approaching. Golden State has already struggled in areas like rebounding, getting out-rebounded by 15 against Denver, and turnovers, 20 in that game alone. Without a fully healthy Curry, the Warriors' postseason hopes become a much bigger challenge. Despite his calm demeanor, the reality is that his health is a major question mark. Will he be able to recover in time to lead the Warriors into the playoff push? Fans are anxiously waiting for updates on his condition, as Golden State can't afford to lose more key games down the stretch. Before we move on to our next big topic, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's keep this Warriors community growing. Now let's shift gears to a potential game-changing move for the Warriors. Could Anthony Edwards be the next superstar to join the Bay Area? There's been growing buzz around the league that Golden State is keeping an eye on the Minnesota Timberwolves young star, Edwards, the No. 1 overall pick in the 2020 draft, has quickly established himself as one of the most electrifying players in the NBA. He's already a 3-time All-Star and a gold medalist with Team USA in the 2024 Olympics. Known for his explosive scoring ability and clutch performances, Edwards is exactly the kind of player who could add firepower to the Warriors' offense. Scoring machine. Edwards recently dropped 53 points in a game against the Pistons, showing he can take over when needed. Versatility. He can shoot from anywhere, drive to the rim, and create for his teammates. Long-term future. With Curry, Klay, and Draymond in their 30s, adding a young star like Edwards would help ensure the Warriors stay competitive for years to come. Absolutely. Kerr's fast-paced, high-IQ basketball would complement Edwards' playing style. His ability to move off the ball, create his own shot, and play solid defense makes him a great fit for the Warriors' system. But the biggest question remains, would Minnesota trade him? Right now, the Timberwolves see Edwards as a franchise cornerstone. But as the trade deadline approaches, things could get interesting. If the Warriors want to make a serious offer, they'd likely have to give up key assets. What do you think, Warriors fans? Would you trade some of our young talent to land Anthony Edwards? Let us know in the comments below. Another name that's been gaining traction is Kai Sotto, the 22-year-old Filipino big man making waves in international basketball. Standing at 7'3", Sotto brings a rare mix of size, mobility, and offensive skill. He's been a dominant presence in the Japanese league, showcasing an ability to protect the rim and stretch the floor. But the real question is he NBA ready? Defensive presence. Golden State has lacked a true shot blocker in recent years. Filipino fan base. The Bay Area has a huge Filipino community, and adding Sotto could make the Warriors even more popular globally. Potential development. The Warriors have a strong track record of developing young talent. Training alongside Curry and Draymond could accelerate his growth. While his offensive skill set is intriguing, Sotto will need to adjust to the NBA's physicality, speed, and defensive intensity. The Warriors won't just hand him a roster spot. He'll have to earn it by proving he can contribute immediately. Still, his potential is exciting. If Golden State takes a chance on him, he could become a key piece of the next generation of Warriors basketball. What do you think? Should the Warriors take a gamble on Kai Sotto? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Stephen Curry's back injury is a major concern for the Golden State Warriors, as it raises questions about both their short-term competitiveness and long-term outlook. At 36 years old, Curry remains the heartbeat of the team, but any significant injury could threaten the Warriors' ability to contend in the postseason. Back injuries, in particular, can be unpredictable and may linger over time, affecting a player's mobility, shooting mechanics, and stamina. If Curry is sidelined for an extended period, the Warriors will have to rely more on Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and their younger players like Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. However, Golden State has struggled to find consistent offense outside of Curry, which means missing him for an extended stretch could push them further down the Western Conference standings. From a long-term perspective, Curry's injury could force the Warriors' front office to rethink their roster strategy. They may need to accelerate the transition to a post-Curry era, potentially looking for a younger star to take on a larger role. This injury could also influence trade decisions, as the Warriors might feel more urgency to acquire a high-level scorer or playmaker to reduce Curry's workload when he returns. Anthony Edwards is one of the most electrifying young players in the NBA, and if the Warriors were to somehow land him in a trade, it would signal a major shift in their franchise direction. The Minnesota Timberwolves currently see Edwards as their franchise cornerstone, so prying him away would require a massive offer, likely involving Jonathan Kuminga, multiple first-round picks, and possibly Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins for salary-matching purposes. If the Warriors were able to acquire Edwards, he would instantly become the future face of the franchise. His explosive scoring ability, defensive potential, and elite athleticism make him an ideal successor to Curry as Golden State's primary offensive weapon. Edwards could thrive in the Warriors' system, benefiting from Steve Kerr's ball movement offense while also giving the team a dynamic shot creator who can take over games. Pairing Edwards with Curry in the short term would be a lethal combination, as it would give the Warriors another elite scoring option who could take pressure off Curry. Long term, Edwards could bridge the gap between the Warriors' current era and their future, ensuring the team remains competitive even after Curry retires. However, given the Timberwolves' commitment to building around Edwards, acquiring him would be extremely difficult unless he forces his way out, or the Warriors make an offer Minnesota simply can't refuse. Kai Sotto, the 7'3" Filipino center, has been a rising name in basketball circles, and if the Warriors were to bring him in, it would be a move with both basketball and marketing implications. On the court, Sotto's size and skill set could provide Golden State with a much-needed interior presence. The Warriors have struggled with size and rim protection, and while Sotto still has room to grow as a defender, his height and ability to block shots could help address that weakness. Offensively, Sotto has shown flashes of being a solid stretch big, capable of hitting mid-range jumpers and even stepping out for three-pointers. His passing ability would also fit well within the Warriors' motion offense, which relies on big men who can facilitate. However, Sotto's lack of elite athleticism and NBA experience could make it difficult for him to earn a significant role early on. He would likely need time to develop, possibly starting in the G League before becoming a rotation player. Beyond basketball, Sotto's presence on the Warriors would have a massive impact off the court, especially from a marketing and global reach standpoint. With millions of passionate Filipino basketball fans, his arrival in Golden State would bring a significant increase in viewership, merchandise sales, and international attention. The Warriors already have a strong global fan base, and adding Sotto would further cement their status as one of the most marketable teams in the league. If the Warriors are looking for both a developmental big man and a way to expand their international appeal, signing or trading for Kai Sotto could be a move worth considering. Kai Sotto's potential fit with the Warriors and his impact on and off the court. Kai Sotto, the 7'3" Filipino center, has been making waves in international basketball, and his potential addition to the Golden State Warriors could be a game-changing move in multiple ways. His combination of size, skill, and untapped potential presents an intriguing possibility for the Warriors, who have long been searching for a reliable big man to complement their perimeter-heavy playing style. One of the Warriors' biggest weaknesses in recent seasons has been their lack of size and interior defense. Draymond Green, while an elite defender, is undersized at the center position, and Kevin Looney, though a reliable rebounder and screener, is not a dominant shot-blocking presence. Sotto, with his towering 7'3" frame and long wingspan, could provide the rim protection the Warriors desperately need. His shot-blocking instincts and ability to alter shots could help shore up the Warriors' defense, making it more difficult for opposing teams to attack the paint. While he may not yet be an elite rim protector at the NBA level, his height alone would allow him to contest shots more effectively than the Warriors' current options. If he develops his defensive awareness and foot speed, he could eventually become a legitimate anchor in the paint. On offense, Sotto's skill set aligns well with Golden State's system. Unlike traditional big men who primarily operate in the low post, Sotto has shown flashes of being a capable shooter, both in the mid-range and from beyond the arc. The Warriors' offensive system thrives on big men who can pass, set screens, and space the floor, qualities that Sotto has demonstrated in his previous stints in international leagues and the G League. His ability to hit outside shots would allow the Warriors to maintain their spacing, preventing defenders from collapsing on Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and other perimeter shooters. Additionally, Sotto's passing ability is an underrated aspect of his game, and if he can develop into a strong decision-maker within the Warriors' motion offense, he could be an asset in their system. However, Sotto's transition to the NBA would not be without challenges. He would need to improve his physicality, strength, and defensive agility to keep up with the faster, stronger big men in the league. The Warriors could initially develop him in the G League before integrating him into the rotation, similar to how they nurtured James Wiseman before trading him and other young players. Beyond basketball, signing or trading for Kai Sotto would be a strategic move that extends far beyond the court. As the first full-blooded Filipino player to potentially make an impact in the NBA, Sotto has a massive following from the Philippines, one of the most basketball-crazed nations in the world. The Warriors already have a strong international fan base, particularly in Asia, due to their dynasty run, fast-paced playing style, and global superstars like Curry. Adding Sotto would further elevate their global appeal, bringing in millions of Filipino fans who would passionately follow his journey in the NBA. From a business perspective, this would translate into increased jersey sales, social media engagement, and viewership in Southeast Asia. The NBA has been actively expanding its global reach, and having a player like Sotto on a high-profile team like the Warriors would be a win-win for both the franchise and the league. The Warriors could acquire Sotto in a few different ways. If they believe in his potential, they could pursue him through free agency, offering him a developmental contract with a chance to earn playing time. Alternatively, they could explore a trade if Sotto is part of another NBA team's system. If the Warriors are looking for a young, high-upside big man who fits their system while also expanding their international presence, signing Kai Sotto would be a logical and strategic move. While he may not be an instant impact player, with the right development, he could become a key contributor to the next era of Warriors basketball, both as a skilled big man and as a global icon. The possibility of the Golden State Warriors acquiring Kai Sotto is an intriguing scenario that could unfold in several ways. While Sotto is still developing as a professional basketball player, his combination of size, skill, and international appeal makes him a potential target for a team looking to invest in a high-upside prospect. But how realistic is a move for him, and what would it take for the Warriors to bring him into their system? One of the most straightforward ways the Warriors could acquire Sotto is by signing him as a free agent. Sotto has previously played in the NBL, Australia, the G League, and in Japan's B League, which means he is currently not under an NBA contract. If the Warriors believe in his potential, they could offer him a non-guaranteed or two-way contract, allowing him to split time between the NBA and the Santa Cruz Warriors, their G League affiliate. This approach would allow the Warriors to bring Sotto into their system without taking on significant financial risk. The organization could closely monitor his development, refine his skills, and evaluate whether he is ready for NBA minutes. If he impresses in the G League, the Warriors could convert his contract into a full NBA deal, similar to how they have developed other young talents in the past. However, Kevin Looney developed into a key contributor over time, showing that Golden State can successfully mold young bigs into valuable role players. If Sotto were to join the Warriors, he would likely need to improve his strength, rebounding, and defensive agility to earn consistent playing time. The team's veteran leaders, such as Draymond Green and Kevin Looney, could serve as mentors, helping him understand the nuances of NBA defense and positioning. Beyond basketball, signing Kai Sotto would have massive global implications. The Philippines has one of the most passionate basketball fan bases in the world, and their support for Sotto has been unwavering. If he were to join a high-profile team like the Warriors, it would likely result in a significant increase in viewership, merchandise sales, and overall engagement from the Southeast Asian market. The Warriors already have a strong international following, particularly in Asia, due to their dynasty run with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Adding a Filipino player of Sotto's stature would further solidify their global brand, much like how Yao Ming's presence in the NBA expanded the league's influence in China. While the Warriors have not been publicly linked to Kai Sotto, the possibility of acquiring him remains open. If they are willing to invest in his development and see him as a long-term piece, they could sign him as a free agent, trade for him, or even draft him in the future. However, for this move to work, Sotto would need to show that he can handle the physicality and speed of the NBA while fitting into Golden State's system. If he does, he could become a valuable asset, not just for the team's roster, but also for its global brand and fan engagement. Kai Sotto signing with the Golden State Warriors wouldn't just be a basketball move, it would be a massive cultural and global moment, especially for the Filipino basketball community. The Philippines has one of the most passionate basketball fan bases in the world, and their support for Sotto has been unwavering since he first emerged as a top prospect. If he were to join a high-profile team like the Warriors, the impact would be felt in multiple ways, from increased viewership and merchandising to a greater global presence for the NBA. The Philippines is one of the most basketball-obsessed countries in the world, with millions of fans following the NBA despite the country not having its own team in the league. The presence of a Filipino player in the NBA, especially on a globally recognized team like the Warriors, would send the excitement to new heights. The Warriors already have a strong international following, particularly in Asia, due to their dynasty run led by Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. The team has played preseason games in China and Japan, and their style of play, centered around ball movement, shooting, and skill, resonates with basketball fans worldwide. Adding Sotto to the mix would likely make the Warriors the most watched NBA team in the Philippines and across Southeast Asia. TV ratings for Warriors games would spike, social media engagement would surge, and Filipino fans would have an even deeper connection to the team. The financial impact of signing Kai Sotto would be enormous. If Sotto were to join the Warriors, his jersey sales would likely skyrocket, particularly in the Philippines. Filipino fans have already shown strong support for their athletes abroad. Manny Pacquiao's fights generated record-breaking pay-per-view numbers, and Jordan Clarkson, who has Filipino heritage, has a massive following despite playing for the Utah Jazz. If Sotto plays for a globally recognized franchise like the Warriors, it would create a marketing goldmine. His jersey could become one of the best-selling in Asia, Warriors merchandise would fly off the shelves, and businesses would seek partnerships and endorsements tied to his presence in the NBA. The Warriors, already one of the league's most profitable franchises, would see an additional boost in revenue. The NBA has been trying to strengthen its ties with the Philippines for years, and having a homegrown Filipino player in the league would be a huge step forward. The country has hosted NBA events, including exhibition games and basketball camps, but a Filipino-born player on an elite team would take engagement to a whole new level. We've already seen how international stars like Yao Ming and Dirk Nowitzki helped expand the NBA's reach in China and Germany, respectively. When Yao was drafted by the Houston Rockets, it not only changed the team's identity, but also brought millions of new fans to the NBA. If Sotto were to play for the Warriors, it could lead to more NBA initiatives in the Philippines, including potential preseason games, training camps, and increased broadcasting partnerships. Perhaps the most important impact of Sotto joining the Warriors would be the inspiration it provides to young Filipino basketball players. For years, Filipino hoopers have dreamed of making it to the NBA, but the path has been challenging due to factors like height, exposure, and opportunities. Sotto's journey, from playing in the Philippines to international leagues and potentially the NBA, serves as proof that Filipino players can compete on basketball's biggest stage. If he succeeds with the Warriors, it could pave the way for more Filipino prospects to pursue NBA careers, whether through the draft, international leagues, or the G League. This ripple effect could also encourage more NBA scouts and teams to pay attention to Filipino talent, leading to more opportunities for players from the region. It could also result in increased investment in Philippine basketball infrastructure, such as training programs, academies, and scouting networks. Kai Sotto joining the Warriors would be one of the biggest basketball stories in the Philippines, and the media coverage would be extensive. Every game he plays, every highlight he produces, and every interaction with Warriors stars like Stephen Curry would be covered intensely by Filipino and international media outlets. Social media would explode with discussions, analysis, and fan reactions. The Warriors' social media pages would likely gain millions of new followers from the Philippines, and NBA content featuring Sotto would see record engagement. The demand for exclusive content, such as behind-the-scenes videos, interviews, and player features, would skyrocket, making Sotto one of the most talked-about young players in the league. And that wraps up our deep dive into Kai Sotto and what his potential move to the Golden State Warriors could mean for the team, the NBA, and Filipino basketball as a whole. His journey from the Philippines to international leagues has been nothing short of inspiring, and if he gets the opportunity to prove himself on the biggest stage, it could be a monumental moment, not just for him, but for an entire generation of young Filipino athletes who dream of making it to the NBA. The Warriors have always been known for their innovative style of play, and if Sotto finds a role within their system, he could add a unique dimension to their front court. With his size, passing ability, and defensive potential, there's no doubt that he has the tools to make an impact. But the question remains, will Golden State take that chance? And if they do, how will he respond to the challenge? What do you think? Would Kai Sotto be a good fit for the Warriors system? Could he develop into a key rotational player or even a future star? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment down below and let's start a discussion. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. I'll be bringing you more analysis, trade rumors, and in-depth discussions about the Warriors, the WNBA, and all things basketball. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Your engagement and passion for the game make this community special. Until next time, stay tuned, stay passionate, and I'll see you in the next video.